Hey y'all, Christopher Cape here. I just wanted to pop in and this morning or this evening, wherever this catches you, and just talk about the difference between abstraction and representationalism and what it actually looks like to me when I'm sort of attempting to wrap my head around a brand new picture or idea or painting that I'm trying to start. And if I make a little slide rule here and abstraction is on one side and representational is on the other side, I can choose where along this line, depending on what it is I'm trying to express or show, what would be the best thing, right, for me? How do I want to show it, right? Let's say I want to do a painting about speed or movement. If I'm closer to the abstraction side, my marks will probably, I imagine, just be really loose and gestural, and I'll attack the surface, right? If it's closer to representationalism, maybe I'll do like a little drawing of a bunny running, right? Or getting chased by a fox. So, right? The difference between the two is pretty obvious, right? Representational is I'm representing something, right? I'm drawing it so it looks like something of this world. And abstraction is it doesn't really look like anything. There's no real pattern. So the concept behind this is simple. All you need is a permanent marker. I got a cheapo paint marker. You need an eraser and a loose piece of erasable material. I'm using a piece of charcoal. You could use pastel, pencil, whatever you like. And what I'd like you to do is write a statement that you know to be true about yourself. Now, it can be something very esoterical, like my trauma is a roadmap to understanding myself, which seems pretty heavy and heady, but it's not important what it is. I'm going to choose something a bit lighter and closer to home right now, just for the purpose of this. And if you know me at all, this is a pretty emotional thing for me, talking about pizza, because I just love it so dang much. Okay, statement, I love pizza. If my drawing or painting is about I love pizza, I have a choice, right? If the most important thing for a viewer to understand is that I love pizza, if that's what's driving me to make this painting, I'm going to shoot for closer to representationalism. To me, that seems like an easier route, right? These letters, or this image on here, clearly state my feeling or my idea that I love pizza. Now, I don't have to, right? I've taken this permanent marker. It's dried now. What I'm going to do is use the fewest marks possible to cover up and make this a bit more abstracted, right? So I can choose to change this so that it's not as easy to see on first glance, right? So we'll say that those are my marks, right? Still, you can read that I love pizza. It's a bit harder. Maybe from a distance, you might not get it right away, and you might have to think about it. So this might be closer to here on the scale. Still close to representationalism, but on the way to abstraction. Now, why I would use this is abstraction, to me, if done properly, an abstract work, triggers the viewer to try to discover what it is they're viewing, right? That's what we do when we look at something or we see stuff in real life. If we don't understand what it is, we're held if it's interesting enough so that we can decipher what it is we're actually looking at. Now, if I decide to go all the way abstract on this, right? I'm not just using my flat edge of this, I'm using the point as well. It's really starting to be difficult to see, right, what this is. Still, I love pizza, but a bit more abstracted, right? I've gone more to the abstracted realm. So if somebody were to come in and look at this drawing, they might be intrigued by what I've ended up doing until the point where they might not even understand what the statement is about, right? It's really getting hard to see this. And so that's all I'm doing is I'm just adding marks in a way that is aesthetically pleasing to me, but still pushes the statement, right? So now we're even closer to abstraction. And you could go ahead and make it the most abstract you could so that you can't even decipher. Even on close inspection, a person might not even see that this painting is about pizza, right? And all of a sudden, I've got an abstract painting, right? Or an abstract drawing. You could even still see that Z there, so you might be able to piece stuff together. And if I get rid of this, it's getting harder and harder to see, right? So this is closer to abstracted. Still a statement. They might only see the heart. They might be able to decipher the pizza. And I could go keep going and going and going until this is totally illegible. Now, here's the fun game. You're going to take your eraser, and with that charcoal, you're going to slowly change it back to a representational piece. And notice, this is why I want you to use a loose piece, because it doesn't fully leave the page. So it's not going to be exactly clear as it was, but you're going to be able to understand what it is I'm trying to say, right? This powerful statement that's going to get me through the rest of the year, maybe my life, is coming back, right? Even that is far more interesting a statement. And that's really where this sort of exercise, and we'll call it an exercise, comes into play. Because it seems like fun and it doesn't make sense until you start to push back to representationalism, right? Because now what's happening is my original statement for representationalism, I love pizza, has become interesting. It has elements of abstraction in it, right? And I've pushed it into representationalism, right? I've shaped it. And now I can go back in either with my paint marker or my charcoal or pencil and really get things cooking here. No pun intended. I must be hungry, right? There it is. I love pizza. Now I'm going to do it again. We'll use the same statement. And we'll just go a bit quicker this time. Okay. Now, we've got abstraction, representationalism. I've got my statement for my masterpiece. Heart. Oh, that's a bad heart. Heart. Pizza. Just like that. I'm going to take my loose piece of charcoal or a pencil. It doesn't need to be this big either. You can do this in a sketchbook as well. And I'm just going to say this time now, I'm going to be a bit more strategic with my marks, pushing it towards abstraction. I'm not going to be as heavy-handed this time. I'll be a bit lighter. I'm going to try to break up this scene in a way that disguises what it actually is I'm looking at. And that's the other part of this exercise, is I want to see how few marks it takes me to make something abstract, right? I've got a pretty clear statement, and I'm just going to be super subtle and make these marks so that it's getting harder and harder to see. These things are not readable at all, right? Like it's... right? And even this, now that it's, I would say it's close to here, right? On the scale, you can still make out this is pizza. It might take you a little bit of time from across the room, but it wouldn't take me time at all to just really dissolve this whole thing, right? I can really just push the limits any way I want. And all of a sudden, we've got another abstract piece, right? Oh, geez, I love pizza. So cool. It's disappeared. Got my eraser again, and I don't have to use the eraser. I can just go back in and make certain lines more bold, right? So we've got this. It's very indistinguishable. What if I just clear up one aspect of this statement, the heart? Now this heart is a representational piece in an abstract drawing. It's going to guide the viewer to start to clarify the above and below, right? So if this one part is the only representational part, this is what you're going to be drawn to. You're going to see it as a symbol meaning something. And your brain is going to try to figure out that, oh, this might be an eye. Oh, this all of a sudden looks like pizza. But then again, I can very easily make it abstract again. Just like so. Even though that heart is pretty standout. And I can be forceful, I can be fine. It doesn't matter what I'm actually doing, right? It really just depends on my mood and what I'm trying to show, right? And I'm just playing back and forth. I'm just moving the part that I'm operating on back and forth along this until I find a happy medium of what I like. Okay, so I think that concept's pretty simple. I've got a written part up above that will explain the steps a little bit more clearly. But what's so important about this is it's giving me real world feedback on my simple statement and how to make it engaging, right? For me, part of the issue in painting and drawing or creating works of art isn't just having a clear statement, but making it in a way or creating it in a way that is very engaging to the viewer. Abstraction is a gateway to engagement for the viewer, whether that's an abstract painting or a representational painting. We're playing with vision and we're playing with the viewer's engagement. So let me know how this goes. If you have any questions, comment below. And as an added bonus, let me know what your favorite pizza toppings are. Correct answer is pineapple, banana peppers, and onions. Good luck.